Hello viewers, welcome to Dailies on TVRC. I am Abitunde Sami Vincent. Joining me in the studio is
Felicia Chinyere Iberi.
Reading to your hearing is the Punch newspaper.
With me is the Daily Post newspaper. On the front page of the Daily Post newspaper, group enlists CBOs in fight against corruption, says sleaze prevalent in communities. Arewa Development Forum backs Matawalis for self-defense by citizens. We'll continue voting wrong leaders until electorates take politics serious, says Kokodia. Jigawa Assembly passed 20.2 billion naira supplementary budget into law. Massacre of soldiers. Others, Buhari told to sack NSA, all service chiefs immediately. War. We don't expect to find anyone alive. Minister gives updates on Odessa strike. Still on the front page of the Daily Post, Presidency addressed injustice against Wike to win 2023 election. Jag tells Atiku. CVR, we've deployed additional machines to areas of pressure. Oyorek Agbokere. Oshun 2022. APC asks INEC to make provisions for people with disabilities. Still on the front page of the Daily Post, Wike Atiku's decision puts APC on edge ahead of 2023 election, says Eze. 2023, Otam reveals 3 names PDP panel considered as Atiku's running mates. This one from the Daily Post says PDP crisis. Why Governor Wike almost suffered heart attack, says ex-spokesman Kola Ologbondion. That's all from the Daily Post. So, Mr. Vincent, let's start with the last post that says PDP crisis. Why Governor Wike almost suffered heart attack. What can you say about that?
In my opinion, I think don't forget that Governor Wike has actually invested so much in PDP. Okay. So they are supposed to be the runner-up in the last primary, in the last presidential primary. So and he lost the election, and he also lost. He lost the election, the presidential ticket. Okay. And again, it becomes it's commonsensical to say that okay, the party will compensate him with the vice president ticket, so that he just for him to co-join with Atiku, but all to are surprised, the ticket was given to the governor of Delta State, the Governor Kowa. So saying he almost suffered that attack, it shouldn't be a surprise to all and sundry.
Okay, this one says 2023, Otom reveals 3 names PDP panel considered as Atiku's running mates.
Yeah, those names are not, they are all in the mainstream media. I think the first person that people presume will deputize Atiku is Governor Wike himself. Yeah. And in short, Governor Otom confirmed that among the 17 stakeholders who had those the meeting they held recently, that 14 of them nominated Governor Wike to be Atiku's runner-up. But it all depends on the candidate himself to see the man who he wants to work with. And I think that's why he chose Okowa. And other names, Governor Wike number 1, Governor Okowa number 2, and the Governor Hudo of Akwa Ibom number 3. Okay,
this one that says Presidency address injustice against Wike to win 2023 election. This is Jaga tells Atiku. What can you say about that, please?
Sorry, come again.
The Presidency address injustice against Wike to win 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as regards the Presidency,
yeah.
The house that divide against itself will definitely fall.
Oh, yeah.
So if Wiki is unable to clinch the ticket, some are saying what the leadership of PDP ought to have done is to inform him before even coming up with a name of, if Atiku will not be picking Wiki, the leadership ought to have approached Wiki in the first place to let him know the opinion of the presidential candidate himself. So, but they didn't do it that way. I think it was ostracized. It was given a serious arm's length, and that's why the man is actually hungry. I mean, Governor Wike himself.
Okay, this one says group enlists CBOs in fights against corruption, says sleaze prevalent in communities. This issue,
what issue is that?
The sleaze prevalent in communities against corruption. It said group enlists CBOs in fights against corruption.
Okay. Well, you know that corruption is endemic in Nigeria, so it should be a kind of it's kind of. I think it should even go beyond the CBO. It should be a kind of. It should be everybody's affair. Okay. Like, but it should. I used to say that leadership, should commence from the top.
Yes.
So it should not be the kind of the affair of CBO alone, and others should follow suit.
Okay, this last one says massacre of soldiers. Orders Buhari told to sack NSA. All substitutes members immediately.
I've always been saying that there's something wrong with the leadership of the military. Because in any country, the strength of the military will determine the strength of the country. But if soldiers are killed, I don't know what is the fate of ordinary citizens. So it shows that something is actually wrong somewhere. And it requires an holistic sanitization. I mean, some Nigerian military needs a kind of, I wouldn't say expert, but I think it requires an in-depth analysis. Something is wrong somewhere. And not until people are able to sit down to fathom where the problem is coming from. And the problem seems very complex. Don't forget that it's not just soldiers, ordinary soldiers who are just being massacred alone. Even some generals. You heard that somewhere along Abuja Express Road, a general of 3-star generals, they were being murdered in broad daylight by people who are not even military. These are people who are regarded as who are to be followed by battalions of. But I mean, it requires a kind of urgent attention.
Yes, that's for all I have now on the Daily Post. Let's get to have what you have.
Okay, on the front page of Punch newspaper, Shiroro attack, Buhari vows to rescue captives, punish perpetrators. Again, money laundering, Happy Court jails Senator Nwabushi 7 years. This is also coming from Punch newspaper. Release Upu bow data to Equity Madu, court order NIMC and others. Obi distances itself from campaign posters on Muslim prayer marks. Defected APC senators stake political future on PDP orders. And again, Equity Madu's kinsmen lobby federal government, AU, ECOWAS over UK investigation. I would like to commence. I would like your input on this. Shiroro attack. Buhari vows to rescue captives, punish perpetrators. Don't forget, in time, few months back, we heard about those who were victims of the Kaduna attack, the train attack. Up to now, we've not been able to arrest anybody. And also recently, your massacre. You saw the way people were maimed, the way they were killed. People are still being, so many victims are still being hospitalized. Yes. And so many were lost. Life were lost in that. And as we speak now, the federal government have not been able to come out with a standard. Okay, these other people have been arrested, except for that of Amatekun. which we're still waiting for them if they will still be if they are still going to parade them. So, do you think the president is actually serious about fighting insecurity? Not that the president is saying that perpetrators will be punished.
Well, to me, I see all of this as being sluggish. Sluggish in the sense that if there's going to be a point whereby a lot of citizens or all the citizens actually looking towards the governments to intervene in cases like this, we expect them to really hasten up and take things serious, because this is a matter of life. So if this is being dragged from left to right, from top to bottom, then it's not really okay. It's not okay. It's not a good sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also want you to take a deep look at this, because it's also a trending issue in the country. Release Upo's bow data to Ikwerimadu. Court order NIMC and those who are also involved in the same saga. Don't forget that there's a kind of a big controversy. Some are saying this guy is an underage. Some are saying no, this guy is not an underage. I mean, it's not an underage boy that he has the power to decide for himself if he's going to give out his organ or not. Now, this data that people are saying, I mean, that is being totally released by NIMC. Do you think this would follow what we call the professional conduct? Or do you think it is right for them to release the data to Ikwerimadu?
Yes, since the court, you said the court orders for it, right? Yes, since the court is asking for it, because this is still on the procedures, because that's fact, because you can't just say you want to nail somebody to a particular sin.
Are you actually suspecting a fraudulent act? Do you think the guy, the document with the guy is not the authentic document?
Well, because
now he has been issued, what's it called? He has been issued a document already that backed it up that this is his age, and now there's a kind of controversy surrounding it, and court is saying release this guy's document. Or don't you think even most of these documents are just issued out, and at the back end, it's not being, they are unable to retrieve it back?
Okay.
Are you not like?
Yes, there should be proper handling on this particular issue, because to the people.
I'm actually using a kind of let's look at the logic behind it.
Yes, because to the people, they expect proper justice to be done in this case, because if you look at it from the natural setting, it's actually between the weak and the strong, the struggle between the weak and the strong here. So we should just have to, the courts and those concerned should actually look at this case in a very justifiable means. So that's what
let me ask this before we go on the show, before we wrap up the show for today. Let me quickly ask you this: money laundering. Appeal Court jailed Senator Nwabushi for 7 years. Do you think jailing this man for 7 years is enough? Don't forget the popular saying that either you call it money laundering, misappropriation of fund, that's thief na thief. He has stolen the money, he has stolen our money, he has stolen the country's money. So, and again, recently I think in one of the Asian tigers, in the Asian country, we heard about those who laundered money and they were being sentenced, to life imprisonment. Some of them, they were even sentenced, to death. Now, for 7 years. What's your take on that?
Yes, the courts should do the needful. They should do the needful, because
he has already been sentenced to 7 years.
Yes, 7 years, because maybe because there's a saying that says circumstances surrounding an act is what we should consider. But if this Mr. A has been given this kind of sanction or whatever, it may not really be likable to him. But I'm not trying to justify any act or to side whoever, but I feel what is right should be done, has been done, kind of. So let's just hope everything is fine.
All right. You've been able to exhaust. You want to say something?
No, I just finished mine.
Okay. I think I'm done with that.
Okay.
All right, viewers, many thanks for watching. Do join us next time, same channel. Bye for now.
Bye.